Hello everyone, welcome back for this new episode of Coding Design System. We weren't live for the last 2 weeks, but we're back, and I'm really happy to be back today. Um, just today, I'm gonna be alone, because George has a lot of stuff to do, and because we were supposed to have Brad for us today on stream, but due to some personal issues, we are just postponing this episode to probably the end of June. So I will be your only host and the only guest today for you. So we will cover something probably shorter and probably more technical. I wanted to play with a simple component made by a ThemeSwitcher, and I want to use this ThemeSwitcher inside a design system. So let's go dive in directly into the code. And let's have a look at what we really want to do with this one. So here's my main idea for this one. A few weeks ago, I designed a theme switcher in the Web Component Studio. I had to publish it on the new. That's a great thing. We opened a community forum dedicated to web components recently. So if you missed it, I really encourage you to subscribe to community.webcomponent.dev to share your different knowledge and your different thoughts about web components and what you want to do with it. This community is totally free, perfectly open. It's based on forum. It's a collaboration between the forum team that is powering Dev2 and us at DeVriot. So that's a great thing. So I have to publish my theme switcher in a blog post into the community web component.dev. But the idea is that the component isn't really finished. I just built it in a short episode, and I want to improve it. So maybe I will publish it later. But let's have a look at how it works right now. We've got a simple theme switcher, which is very basic in terms of features, but I want to improve it, and I'm gonna do that at least for this very episode. And I want to make it compatible with external theming coming from, let's say, a design system. You see me, all right? So my main idea is that we're gonna tweak the existing component. We're gonna see how it works, and we're gonna tweak it just to make sure that um, our component is ready to be used into a design system. Then we will import it into a demo design system in Backlight, and we're gonna have a look at if we can theme it using the design token of our design system into Backlight and make it reactive enough to be able to switch the theme in the design system. So first things first. I hope we will have enough time to do that. But yeah, it's a nice exercise. So let's have a look at it. So this is the view of the Web Component Studio at studio.webcomponents.dev. So in this one, I have my simple switch. So how it works? It's a simple component. I can right now I can click on it, and when I click on it, it just updates the state. I'm just switching between two modes, light and dark, but we could probably improve it in the future by, I don't know, cycling between different modes available, something like that. But at the moment, this is just a switch between a dark and light mode. And I had coded some values into the style sheet of the component, the web component, like the color, the size, also the icons, and so on. So my idea is really to have just something visual on which I can click on it. So it's a plain vanilla web component. So I have a simple declaration at first on the different elements, like declaring default mode, which is the light one. And I have a getter and a setter dedicated to this mode. so I can set mode or get the current mode, like, you know, setting programmatically if I want the dark mode or the light mode. I also have a listener, a different kind of listener. I've got two listeners. The first one is based on the user event. I click on it, so I'm switching the theme. And I've got also a listener based on the user's preferences. If we have a look at it, let me show you in the dev tools. The dev tools. We've got something in the where is it? In the oh my, let me figure out a oh it where is it? In the maybe maybe it moved. Um, is it in the preferences? I can first something I can find where experiments. No. Oh my. More tools. Yeah, more tools. Rendering. This is what I'm looking for. That's it. So in the rendering section, I can emulate the preferred. Let me find it. The preferred color scheme. Yeah. So just here, I've got it. We can emulate the prefers color scheme that is directly inherited from the operating system. So my system is set to dark. I guess so. Yeah. So when I first open my ThemeSwitcher, it should be rendered as just the dark mode, and I could switch to the light one if I click. So if I change the light mode, the color scheme, the preferred color scheme, then the content should be updated as well. Yeah, it works. Fantastic. So the idea is that we are listening to this event based on media queries that is listening in the CSS that the user wants or prefers a light mode or a dark mode. And because I don't want to change my whole operating system mode each time I want to test, I have this feature in the DevTool to emulate the preferred color scheme. So I can set it to dark or light as I want, or no emulation, which means just refer to the actual operating system preferences. And the fun fact is that if I click on my theme switch to switch the mode, then the mode is marked as forced because the users have explicitly switched the theme. So at this moment, the preferences of the color scheme is not applied anymore. It should. It doesn't. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. So this is the main idea of the theme switcher. But right now, it doesn't apply any kind of theme on the current system, just because everything is just sandbox into the component. So when the component is clicked and when the mode is changed, then there is a callback that is called the onChange mode callback, and I'm switching different values on the HTML element, the root element of the on my document, by adding a class like a theme dark or theme light, reflecting the actual choice of the user. I'm also setting a data attribute and the color scheme attribute directly into the root element. So I can base everything in CSS on these very specific values in my final application or my final design system or so on. So two things. The first one is that I want to be sure, because right now I don't see any other changes than just the icon. So I want to update that. I want also to be able to style the different versions of my component. This is my second step, and then after we will see how to use it directly into a design system. So let's have a look at the stories. Just here, this is a story containing the icon. So I can probably create a branch just to be sure. Let's call it external styles. Let's create a branch. Okay, so in my stories folder, I will just add a stories.css file, and I am probably able to import it directly into my project. So in my stories, I can import my stories.css. Okay, let's say in this CSS file that the HTML has background color that is dark value. Okay, it works. So we can base our styles in the selection on our current attributes set by the theme switcher. Like if I've got a color scheme attribute that is dark, then the background color is dark. And if I have a color scheme that is light, then you guessed it, I've got a light value. So now if I click on the switch, it works. So I can switch between the dark and the light mode by just clicking on my icon. Fantastic. Okay, it works. So first step, okay, we can see that the changes applied to by the theme switcher by clicking on it on this famous event is perfectly working. We can also see it by emulating it in the rendering content. I prefer the light mode. Okay, I prefer the dark mode. Okay, it works. That's great. Fantastic. Okay, second part. I want to style the different part of my switcher from the external content, which is which may not be that simple into a web component, because a web component is something totally isolated from the rest of the application. So it works as a sandbox, give or take. This is not an exact rule, but let's say that. And we probably can't easily act directly into the web component. The fact is, we've got no something new dedicated to that. So let me show you how to do so. I made it in another design system based on web components that is using them to mimic the Wordle game. If you don't know this game, it's a really good one. So let me show you how it works. Let me find it in my, okay. So in my component, I can access different parts of my components by mapping them using a specific CSS property. So in my theme switch, perfect. I've got a simple markup, which is just, let me see how I did that. Oh no, I didn't apply anything. Oh, okay. I don't have any kind of content in it. So it's, if I inspect it, okay, let's see that. I've got a theme switch with just a shadow root, which contain just a simple style, and that's all. So, so what the right thing, how to do that? Maybe it will be easier than I thought at first. If I'm just focusing on ThemeSwitch, which is the name of my component, will it work? Maybe. Maybe. If I set a background to, I don't know, blue, yeah, it works. Easy enough. Way simpler. Okay, you know what? Let's make it a bit more complex just for the sake of the demo. So to do so, we need something that is returning a complex component containing I don't know the name of the mode. Yeah, maybe it's a good one. So let me have a look at how to do so. So if I want to do that, I will create just here. I will just create a template, and template, which is a document, create elements. And maybe for accessibility purposes, it will be better because so the theme switcher will be able to contain a textual representation of the current mode, which is probably better than just, displaying an icon and that's all. So my template is containing an HTML, and this HTML will be something simpler, something which is just be some kind of, let's say, a simple div or a button. Know what? You may click on it, you may be able to click on it, so it's a button, okay? So it's a button. And then my button, I've got access to two things. I've got access to my let me think. I'm gonna just display something like that. Okay, let's say this is just a button. Okay, let's say this is just a button. And in my button, so I will apply the styles to my button. I will apply okay, let's create something like this. In my button, I've got a E, which is the icon. No, it would be simple E element. And span containing the text, which by default will be empty. Okay, let's say just mode at the moment. Okay, so I've got that. This is, we can highlight it properly by mapping it to HTML, so it's way better. Okay, I can see that I have a button, and my button is containing an icon placeholder and a text mode to display the rendering content. Okay, that's fine. No, I need to attach it to my current element. So in my constructor, I will do a shadow root. Nope, not this one. A shadow root app and child, and I will call it template.content.clone content dot clone node true. So if I do that, I've got different kinds of elements. So the first thing is that I want to map my icon. So I have size of my icon, which is perfectly fine. I'm gonna have to change a few things, like in my update. The update is the update is okay because the icon type will be inherited directly from the button. Okay, so I've got my button, I've got my mode, I've got my small elements, so I have to set a few more properties like a display mode that is a block for this element. Perfect. So this one is fine. If I click on my button, everything is updated properly, but I also have to update the content. So I'm gonna do something in my update function like this query selector span. Okay, text content, which is equal to current mode. Nope, this is not text content. This is inner text. Nope. Why? This query selector span. Let me have a look what is currently in the query selector span. What is that? What is that? I inspect it. Got a lot of issues. So, where's my console? Okay. Okay, so if I render it, it's a null. Okay, cool. Probably not what we want. This is false. Why? Where I have this query selected function? I have it. So query select a span. It's not working because of it's null. Because we're in the button. Because we are in the button and I've got a span. That's weird. Let's try it. If I want to use it directly, query selector span. Oh no, it doesn't work. Host span. No. What? But why? Okay, if I want to. Let me check with an ID. Okay, let's say ID mode. Query selector mode. No, sorry, not this one. Okay. It's still null. That's weird. That's weird because that's weird because let me check. Let me check in the documentation. What is available in this one? So I've got something plain. I've got it. So oh, for sure. What did I use? Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. This shadow root with a dot. Okay. This shadow root query selector. Can I select the span right now? I can. I can access it. So okay. So this shadow root query select span inner text actual mode, and we will remove this useless ID on it. Okay, so it's a dark mode. I can switch to light mode, dark mode, light mode, dark mode, light mode. Fantastic. Okay, so that's great. But because I did that, I can't um, I can't apply a style on my theme switch anymore. Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't work. And if I try to target the icon element, oh no, it doesn't work as well because Web Components works as a sandbox. So I have to do so. I have to explicitly set on my element, on my icon element, that this is a part name icon. So now I have exposed the part icon in my final component. So because I have did that, I'm now able to focus using a pseudo selector in CSS this specific icon. So I can say ThemeSwitch part colon part icon, and I can set it to blue. And now it works. So I have a simple way to just target a sub element inside my web component to be able to style it and to override different kind of content. So I can say now that to just to finish it, that my button has no background by default, which is interesting because after that I will be able to set parts of all the different kinds of elements of components inside my web component. So I will be able to finally style the different kinds of elements. So my background is transparent, and I've got a border, one peg solid. It's a gray. Okay, that's nice. And what else? And then that I want a border radius. I can say that it is a width, let's say 4 rem. Same things for the height. So a display grid. So it will align items center. I guess this one. No, justify. Oh, Justify content center. Yeah, perfect. Any item center too. Perfect. And let's say border radius or the radius, which is a rounded one. Perfect. I've got it. But I'm just switching the different kinds of content, but the text isn't updated as well. So I can really focus on this specific content by saying, okay, if the theme is the light one, then the part icon is background blue, but the text content should be updated as well. Like let's say I'm gonna put part on the span element too, so it's a part caption. Okay, so let's say that in this one, when my color scheme is light, the icon will be background, um, will be a dark one, no, a light one. A light one, a dark one. Oh, it's complex, huh? And we will do the same thing exactly on the theme port caption. So the color is dark. Okay, and let's say something different for the dark mode. Nesting is life, We're really missing this one in this very example. So, okay. So I've got a dark mode with the text and the icon that have different kind of styling. And if I switch, my color is updated as well. That's nice. It's really great. Okay, I love it. So let's create a pull request for this one. So let's say styling, external styling capabilities, features, capabilities. Okay, let's open a pull request, pushing it. Oh, wait, too long. Okay, it's pushing, it's pushing. So perfect. Then loading everything. I hope it will work. I'm not that sure anymore because technology is hard. Okay, never mind. We will let it just okay, perfect. So open it. We should have this pull request in GitHub. Okay. So we will self-review it. Those guys are professional kids, don't do that at home. We squash and merge. Okay, perfect. It's merged. So if I go back in my studio editor and go back to the main view, maybe I can update it. Maybe I will have to update it. Hard reset. Okay. Resetting. Okay, so we've got everything working directly into the main branch. So let's publish it on npm as a first release. Let's say it's a 0.10 version. Okay, and let's release it. And I misclicked the version. So it's a patch. Okay, no problem. So the studio is directly pushing everything, the source code directly into npm. So it will be available in npm just in a second. So if I open it in npm, I will be able to see it, and I will also be able to see the content. So if I have a look, let's say on npkg, version 01 is not the right syntax. So, okay, so I've got it directly available. So I can, maybe you won't see anything else, but yeah, that's it. It's just it. So it's now available because it was published on npm. It is now available directly for any kind of project that want to use the ThemeSwitch that is not finished. Don't use it in production, okay? But you won't do that. And so I will be able to use it directly into a design system. Do we have enough time to do so? I'm not that sure, but we can start to craft something. So let's say, so this is Backlight. So in Backlight, let's create a new design system. And we will create a new one based on Nunjucks, because I do love Nunjucks. Okay, let's rename it external theme switch demo. Okay, save it. So how will it work? We've got a simple Nunjucks demo for a design system in this one, like with a button. And we've got stories in our button. So I've got everything, and we've got documentations and so on. So that's perfect. Let's create. We have a doc layout. Okay, we have a doc layout. That's interesting. So in my doc layouts, I can directly import an external script, which is my SSE, which is my ThemeSwitch, the latest one, not this one, latest. And I want something that is this index.js. I guess so. I guess it's something like this. No, you don't want that. Okay. Let's take, no, I don't want the browse. Ooh. URL are complex, you know? Is it working? Yes, it is. So, Backlight. I import my script directly in it. Do I have to export it as a module? I've got my class, my custom element defined, so no. This is not a module. So I just close it here, and that's all. So in my documentation, I am importing my current external ThemeSwitch as a web component, external web component directly into my documentation. So in my block header, I should be able to do something like ThemeSwitch switch. Yeah, and because it's declared, I've got access to it. So I can click on it, but we can see that the content is not properly styled because of the actual declaration of the style. So in my doc layout CSS, let's do exactly what we did before. And because we have some kind of colors declared right there, and we also have a theme, I guess. We also have a theme. So we've got a dark one, we've got a light one, and it's based on color scheme light and dark. So it should change if I click on my button, because let me inspect it. Am I switching the color scheme light? Yes, I am. So what do I have? I have the preferred color scheme. That's the dark. Okay. So the preferred color scheme override. Yes, because it's using the root elements rather than just a color scheme. So let's say on our theme, let's say that um, let's say it's a where, not a root, but a where HTML was the preferred color scheme, dark and light. Okay, is it working right now? Yes, it works. Okay, did you see that? So our preferred color scheme light attribute were overridden by the colon root elements in the preferred color scheme dark media query, just because of specificity in CSS, you know. So by replacing the root element by where HTML, which has zero specificity, we just declare the default mode that is dark mode, but by overriding it with the where HTML, it has zero specificity. So the color scheme, blah 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 rules based on only the attribute have more specificity, so it's directly applied, which means that we didn't have to change anything than just adding the theme switcher. And because the theme switcher is updating the color scheme on the root element of the page to the light or dark mode, is just working by just clicking on it. So it's nice, but this red color is not really gracious. So let's say that we want that the theme switch in my current design system, because documentation is part of the design system, you know, it's using the same design token, same colors, and so on. So my theme switch part icon element as background color, yeah, that is directly using the current main color, which is the color green. So if I do that, perfect. I've got my icon, which has a color which is exactly the color based on the design token, because it's exploiting directly the design token containing the color. And if I click on it, it's just updating the theme, which means that if I open my README section, okay. If I open my README section, I don't have access. Why do you don't have my... Oh, it's sad. I don't have, because I have it in my doc layout, but not... Okay. If I put it there... Wait, what? Why? Um... Oh, that's weird. Oh, okay. I guess it's because it's not recompiled. Um... And I guess that if I update it... Yes, it's not updated as well. Let me reload the backlight file directly just to see if everything's changed and if everything is updated as well. Yes. Okay. So I've got my documentation and I've got my theme switch. And if I click on it, woo, magic! I've got my theme properly updated. So all my documentation is using this now theme switcher component that is directly imported from the CDN, like different pkg or whatever you want based on npm. But of course, in a real project, you will probably compile it not to serve any external components in different sequence, but all at the meantime, at the same time, all at once. But we load it, we injected it into our documentation layout, part of our design system, and we updated its color as well, based on the existing design token in our application. Woo, fantastic. In just 45 minutes. That's great, no? Okay. Okay, that was fun. That's all for today. I have to finish a lot of things on this ThemeSwitch, like adding some kind of accessibility features, more content, and so on. But I will publish a post on community.webcomponent.dev when it will be ready, and it will be, of course, available open source on GitHub and on npm directly, so you will be able to use it. But we can see that right now it's perfectly usable in a design system by exploiting the existing design tokens just in a snap. So it was really cool to be with you again today. Let's meet next week for another episode dedicated still on web components, but more specifically, sorry, on Stencil, because we have the folks from the Stencil team with us for the next episode. So we're gonna still continue to talk about design system and web components, and probably craft a starter kit for Stencil in Backlight. Thank you so much for being with me, and see you next week. Bye bye, folks.